Hello, everybody. This is GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Hello.
Daniel Bloodworth.
I've still changed my
and
bet.
Michael Damiani.
Nope.
What Daniel Bloodworth is referencing is normally we have bets at the end of every show. We lock them in. Last week I forgot to lock them in, and because of that, all four of us had to spend all of last weekend. We put on some proton packs. We hunted out the bets. We captured them in our little bet catchers. And it was a stressful weekend.
None of this happened.
Where's
He's
your...
not going to make it easy for you, is he, Kyle?
Why won't you be fanciful for one moment and just like imagine a world where that would be possible?
Because he wants to win.
Sure, I
That's
guess
what you've
so.
done. You've made monsters out of all of this time. You made us desire
Right.
these bets
For
so
the first
much.
time, we tallied them last week too. We said like what our total score is, and I think that really changed things.
No, you just didn't lock them in. So now this is the price.
Yeah, we had to spend all weekend hunting them down, shooting them with our sweet proton.
What's the
guns.
point of locking if when you do not lock, there aren't ramifications?
I have a solution.
What's your
Just
solution?
need to do an update to last week's episode. Go back and edit it. And edit yourself.
That's
locking
terrible.
it in.
Yeah, that's
Yes. Like we do with Pop Fiction. You just do an update.
Yeah,
You got it.
there is an update coming to Pop Fiction, which I think is absurd. Why do you think that's okay? And you're like, this is our
That
episode.
update's
Well,
already
then
happened,
then you
Kyle.
do
That's
a
in the
lock.
past.
Yeah.
They go up before us.
I was going to suggest some kind of time travel thing, but you don't really get the concept
You
of
do an
time right now,
update to
so-
Pop Fiction, and you say like, "Here's the new episode of Pop Fiction this week. Just rewatch this one you've already seen before."
No, we don't say it's a new episode.
Oh my gosh!
We say it's an update.
You say you get a new episode every week. That's what you promise to the viewers.
No, he
No.
doesn't.
What if he
Facts.
wins the bet and gets to
Man,
pitch
you
an
don't-
episode
you don't-
and he pitches that Pop Fiction?
Our fans know that it's
gonna get way more downloads now.
I don't break our lore
Okay.
with ours.
Yeah, all right.
I don't forget to lock the bets in.
I'm trying to do lore, and nobody's on board. Do the proton bit. Ugh. All right, everybody.
Okay.
We do have to do some clarifications this week. Not a correction, but a clarification. Still worthy of the music. Last week we talked a lot about games being rated M for mature, and a lot of the comments brought up some really interesting games you would think are rated M that aren't, and that I think are worth bringing up. Uncharted, all of those rated T for teen.
Yeah, I knew that, but it didn't come to my mind. Yeah.
Are you trying to show off? What do you mean?
No,
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
knew that, but it didn't come to my mind.
No, it's not showing off. It's just like, yeah, it's not surprising.
For the
to me.
record, I knew that.
That's not like the next one is Dark Souls 2, and like
Dark
it's
Souls
like,
2.
What?
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a what? That's crazy to me. Dark Souls 2 rated T for teen. Also, Infamous Second Son also T for teen.
I think you have to understand what's wrong with the game. And I think maybe I could see the ESRB playing Dark Souls being like, I don't know. It's just the weird stuff, where it's like really horrifying if you just kind of sit and sink in it, for a while. But whereas, something like, I don't know, two gay people or something that's more topical or controversial. I
I
can see
love
them
how
being like,
you-
I don't like
There-
this.
Yeah, but
Whereas
it's
like
like,
giant
there's bosses
skulls
in
with
Dark
blood
Souls,
pouring
like
out
what
of their
the
eyeballs.
Rotten
You're just
or
like,
whatever.
whatever.
I'm thinking like the Rotten, and like I don't know how that works in terms of getting a teen rating, but okay.
The way Brandon characterized the ESRB person really, I don't know. What is this? He's just like, he's watching Dark Souls 2. He's like, what is this? God, T for teen. Like, I love that character you made.
Because it doesn't really
Yeah.
affront you in a clearly offensive way. Like there's gore and horror and scary stuff, but then there's
Yeah.
like something that's offensive.
Yeah.
And Dark Souls does not offend. It just confuses and terrifies and
Halo,
frustrates.
totally offensive.
You know what?
completely
I bet,
offensive.
I bet at the ESRB they kind of like
Cortana being like having kind of a bosom like that.
Yeah.
I could see them having an issue with.
that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
How do they think that's okay?
I don't know. I think it's okay.
Damiani got offended by me calling that a huge issue. What's going on?
Oh, wait, what's the issue?
That Cortana has boobs hanging out, and like that's not.
I mean-
That's like
A woman has boobs? That's offensive?
it's offensive to.
Oh man.
Wow, he's got a point.
That's a fantastic point, Damiani. I guess it is.
I mean, it's like every comic book character.
no,
much.
because I mean, no, they're still wearing clothes. You know what?
No, I mean I know what you're saying. I mean, but that's only the Halo 4 Cortana, anyways.
I'm gonna allow it. I think you're right. I think it's not offensive for
Just
Katana
say
to
unless
have
you're
boobs.
Mortal Kombat,
It's
everything
cheap.
should be teen.
Mortal Kombat should be the only M-rated
Yes.
game, and everything beneath it should
Yes.
be teen. We need to get down to business. Okay, so end correction music. It's been playing that whole time, and it is the dumbest song. Okay, let's talk about news. This week we had some big game announcements. Two big game announcements. First, it was pretty huge. Gearbox and 2K announced a co-op shooter named Battleborn.
Not Battle Cry.
Not
Not
Battlecry.
Bloodborne.
Not
Just
Bloodborne.
wanted to- yeah, they just wanted to sound like Bloodborne.
No, they didn't.
Born is
I
the
mean,
new Born is the new hype. You gotta have Born at the end of your title now. So
we have a blood cry?
Expect 6 games with Born at the end of them now.
no, there won't be. I mean, there's
Airborne.
Airborne would be a cool game. That makes sense. That's
I played a Airborne Ranger on the Commodore 64.
all right. What is that game? Before we move on, what is Airborne Ranger on the Commodore 64?
I mean, you're like a soldier trying to cross a battlefield and rescue POWs and stuff.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Just top down.
Mike, can you get some B-roll of that today? That'd be great.
Oh, anyway, the big hubbub around this announcement of Battleborn is that it's MOBA. And hearing this word, for a lot of people, turns them off immediately.
But the weird thing is, I mean, people are calling it a MOBA, but it's not actually a MOBA. And I don't.
It's very
I'm
MOBA-like.
not sure why the MOBA thing spread like wildfire.
Because it's basically what it is. It's,
But is it?
It's Gearbox trying to distance themselves from MOBA.
Have we seen gameplay of this game?
We've seen, I think, no gameplay of this game.
They showed
nobody
little
can really-
first person. I mean, the game plays in first person.
Yeah.
And there are like Titanfall, there are extra dudes running around. And then
Minions.
there-
I mean, they go so far
And
as to
there
call
are
them minions.
maps, where you do like a tug of war type of thing. But
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like that's all of the game. That sounds like that's one competitive mode.
There's a campaign as well, yes.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what the campaign looks like.
Yeah, but they're
For
like,
sure.
well, we're not willing to show that. The thing is, they debuted this game, and Gearbox themselves tried not to use the word MOBA in an interesting way. They're like, it's a hero shooter. They don't want to call it a MOBA, but when it is a MOBA. And what's weird to me is, all right, so MOBAs are like the most popular computer game genre in the entire internet in the world. It's weird to me that it's a bad word. We should all be making MOBAs, right? If it's like the most popular thing. Damiani, how do you feel about this game being a MOBA?
Don't.
You're wiggling. So people who are just listening,
I don't. I mean,
Damiani
I
is
don't, well,
rocking
I don't
back
play,
and
I don't
forth.
play MOBAs, so I have
Yep.
no interest in it. But to people who like MOBAs, maybe it's like, hey, maybe this is a chance for somebody to do something a little bit new with it. They're trying not to use, if it is indeed a MOBA, and they were intentionally trying not to use that term to not put that stigma on them. But I don't get how it's a stigma when it's
Yeah.
the most popular genre, and you automatically are going to get like a huge amount of people interested in it right off the bat.
That's
It's
what
up
I'm
to
not
you
clear
to
about.
hold
Is
on to
why-
the
I mean,
people.
Why is that a
I
stigma?
think the stigma is because there's League of Legends, there's Dota, and there are a bunch of crappy clones
Sure.
of those two games. So anytime somebody announces a MOBA, and then it's kind of as we were talking about, it's that business model, of like, oh well, no, you're gonna have to buy this thing and buy this skin and all. It's it feels always like a kind of like a money grab type of play. But then that's why I'm saying is like, I don't know, maybe I feel like I just need to see more of this game to say like, is it going to have any of the pitfalls that people associate with a MOBA?
So you're saying, that it's not necessarily that it's a MOBA, but MOBAs have all these other negative connotations around them that kind of lead somebody
Yeah,
to...
I mean, those are basically free-to-play games that you can spend hundreds of dollars on.
Yes, and this is not free to play. This is, give us $60 and you can play this MOBA.
Yeah. So and with that, if you have those same kind of paying schemes on top of a $60 purchase, that's pretty gross.
Yep. Brandon.
You want every game to be The Witcher 3. You want to hear that there's some team that's like, man, we've been waiting to do this for so long. Not only that, but we've already done, look at all the games we've done before that. Isn't it obvious that this would be the next game that we would make?
Yeah.
And we're going to do it, and we're going to put our heart and soul into it, and that's going to be the next thing. And this is like the opposite of that, where it's just like, or that it would seem that way if you dislike MOBAs and you hear somebody's making it, it's like, okay, well, I don't get the vibe that they're making that game because they really want to make it. I'm getting the vibe they're making that because they think it's going to make money. And that's just not
I mean,
it's
to
not
me,
exciting.
like
Yeah.
from looking at the video and just, I mean, I didn't watch everything so far, but it feels to me like, like it is an extension on Borderlands. It is kind of like a next step of Borderlands. That just has, it's not as focused on loot, it's focused on other things. And it has that same kind of appeal of playing with your buddies. But again, I'd like to see what the campaign is like and see how that's different.
So I shouldn't do this as moderator, but I want to inject my own opinion here.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I think the character art is very bad. I think it's very bad character art.
You don't like the clockwork guy with the gun and the... That guy was kind of cool with the
No,
hat.
like,
He
so-
jumps off and the hat flies up and then he like grabs his hat and puts it back on like
This
while he's in
is
midair.
he's like robot,
stuff.
right? Yeah, he's all right, but basically it's this thing where like, all right, we're going slightly cartoonish. They don't fill up faces right. They fill up faces in weird ways that really bothers me. It gets under my skin. So the elf lady, her nose dips all the way down to where her mouth would go, and then her mouth appears where on a human your chin is. And so it's just like, oh, look, it's like stylistic. And it's so stylistic that it ends up being bland. You know what I mean? There's nothing to me that really stands out about its art style. I think if you're doing a hero-based shooter, like that should be your first concern, is making sure your characters look good. And I think none of these characters really stand out. I mean, I guess that guy stood out to you, the robot one. But to me, none of these are just like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to be that person. They're all just kind of like little weird stinky faces.
I thought he was an enemy actually when I first saw the trailer, and I was kind of piecing together what it was when he showed
Right.
up. I thought
Yeah.
I thought she was like running from him, and so yeah, I think it needs a little context as well. Like I get the vibe that we're not supposed to take the story in this as seriously as we would Borderlands, because like Borderlands, as you know, as kooky as it can be sometimes, like has really good writing, and
Yeah,
so
and it
is
is
this something
story-driven
where it's
for sure.
gonna have good writing? Is this something that we're gonna want to focus on? These people and like why they're all together, why people that are so different, why they would all team up.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is that so like in Dota, in League of Legends, those characters are important, but you're not following a story.
Yeah.
Is an interesting thing. And you put on skins that make them completely out of canon that make no sense.
I think
It's all
League
over
is
there.
very far from that. I think League
Yeah.
is like, we're all playing a video game here, guys. Like
Yeah.
this is a game. Like you're gonna pick that skin not for any lore reason or because you feel it like befits that character. It's just like it's funny to put the hat on that guy. Let's go and play this game now.
Yeah.
Where
That's
this,
exactly
it
what-
took itself a little bit seriously, but again, that's like trailer talk. That's less about the game and more just the tone of the announcement.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is a weird tone that they set with this, and I think they're definitely trying to say, hey, this is not MOBA necessarily. This is our own genre. We did this with Borderlands.
To quote
yeah.
Ryan Stevens, genres are stupid.
So follow it up. Why are genres stupid, Bloodworth?
Because everything is every genre pretty much anymore. So
They're all RPGs. Yeah.
they're all RPGs. Half of them are shooters. But yeah, then they mix all this other junk in. So, I mean, what's Destiny, right? What is it?
What is
Is it an
what
MMO? Is
Destiny?
it a shooter? What is it?
Yeah, shoot. I would say if I had to genreify it, I'd straight up call it
Exactly.
massively online adventure game. Yeah,
But that's not a
massive multiplayer
that's
online
not a
adventure
genre.
game. is what I call
What
it. Yeah.
genre? When you have to put this into a category with other games to say which one is better.
Yeah, no, you're right. The genres are way dumb. Damiani, what did you start saying?
No, when you said your abbreviation, the letters for each of the words was
Yep.
MOA. So you're close to MOBA.
Yeah. It's a
close.
MOA.
It's a little close. It's a little close.
We had another big game announcement. Cliff Bleszinski announced his new studio late last week, and then this week announced that it's called Boss Key Productions. That Boss Key Productions is making a free-to-play sci-fi arena shooter, which is basically what we were talking about last week. Last week we knew he was coming out of retirement. We said, oh man, maybe he's making an arena shooter. The thing we did not predict is that his game would be a free-to-play game. And again, we talk about this a lot, that free-to-play also, like MOBA, has a stigma, has this weird thing where you hear free-to-play and you assume, oh, no, oh, no. And a lot of people are already dismissing his new game. A lot of people are already disinterested because it's free-to-play.
And he's like, you don't know. This is the way of the future.
You
He's
think
very-
he seems
he's very bullish about it.
overconfident about
Yeah.
how free-to-play it is? What do you mean by that?
I mean, he just feels like, yeah, that's the business model to move forward to get a broad audience. And if you're hardcore and you don't like that, then he doesn't care because he's going to get a new audience. Seems the way I've read it. So
Yeah, that's intense. Those are, oh my gosh. That's not the way to handle it. Defensive is a weird way to go about this when you're a free-to-play game. I don't know. You should probably show your game before you announce, hey, we have a free-to-play
Yeah.
game, I think is what
but
the
here's the
thing is.
bizarre thing. This is the exact same thing they're doing with Unreal. They're making a free-to-play game, and they're going to let you watch how they build it, and they're having live streams every week to update people on where it's at.
Oh, yeah, we should mention that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, when they announced the new Unreal, they're like, and development starts now.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything there. Like, you're going to watch us build it from the ground up.
So yeah, they did mention that as well. Boss Key Productions will let you watch this game being made. The big difference between this and Unreal Tournament, though, is Unreal Tournament's like, and you help us. We're all making this game together. Whereas Boss Key here is just like, we're making this game and you can watch. I had a conversation with Elise about this, actually, about like how much fun it is to watch a game being made as opposed to like just giving it to me as a surprise. Like, give me something special. Like, Brandon, do you want to see a game being made?
No.
You want it like just you like unwrap it and that's your gift
Yeah,
to you?
yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah, exactly.
I like to hear concrete game announcements. I like to have somebody come in the room and be like, sit down, I did this thing. Just sit and I'll show you this thing. And then I go, cool, that was neat. All right, I'm gonna go on and do my stuff now. I don't need like this constant updating of stuff. Like it's kinda like documentaries, even when they release those like behind the scenes videos. It's like, do 5. That's it. Like, don't do like 20.
Do some do 20?
Don't have, yeah. Like, well, Call of Duty's already up to like 8 or something.
my
Of just
God.
like, oh, it's like the sound and the sound design and the sound editing and the sound manipulation and you're just
Whoa.
like, oh, guys, So Assassin's Creed is a franchise that always overdoes it. Way too much overexposure. I mean, unless it's something like really, really bizarre, like making a new genre, a MOA, or specifically being like, I want to see that come together because I've never seen those two people work together before. Steven Spielberg's never made a video game. Something like really bizarre and out there that I'd be curious to see. But yeah, I mean, even with movies, I can't really think there's anything where it's just like, I have to see absolutely every little tiny thing of that. Because on the same flip side, I actually don't care about spoilers. Like, I'm weird in that way where like, I don't care if films or books or anything is spoiled for me because like I can still enjoy it.
Sure.
Because I can still like, oh, I'll know that and then see that stuff going through it, It's like I get to read it for the second time, the first time. Thanks. But yeah, with games, it's like I'd rather either be watching a trailer, something pre-composed, or playing a game.
So, Damiani, what do you think about that? Do you think this would have gone better if they had waited until they had at least a reveal trailer, more to show, than if they had just announced, hey, we're making a free-to-play game?
Yeah, I don't understand. I really don't know why they went with that. I feel like he was just really excited, like, hey, I've got my project. You guys have been waiting for this. Like, here it is, and just I think he just couldn't contain himself. And that's
Especially with
how-
him like saying beforehand, just being like, "Hey, tune in 3 days, guys."
I'm coming out of retirement.
That whole,
yeah,
There's
you're
gonna
right.
lead up like
But
this is gonna be
that's the
big.
same
gonna
thing.
drop.
Like, that's why the
No
Unreal
trailer.
was such a letdown. Like, it was like, oh, they're announcing it. Like, we're all ready. We're recording the stream.
Oh, the
we're
future of Unreal Tournament. Yeah,
We're watching. It's like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Oh, there's nothing. Nothing exists yet. It's just. It's an idea.
And what's really funny about that is in both cases, I think on their end, they thought we would love it, especially the Unreal Tournament thing, the thing where it's just like, and it starts today.
I mean, they still,
I think they think
send
that people are
updates.
going
They
like,
do
oh
these
my
streams
gosh,
every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool.
But who's watching? I don't know.
It's interesting. It's like there was almost kind of this like high tier above like what was considered independent gaming. Now that line is extremely blurred. But like back when they were just kind of starting to do that, and like a lot of these big independent games were coming out, there was like the AAA was like the top tier. Now there's like this new tier above free to play. Whereas if you can create your package and have it, even if it's like an independent game or like on a lower scale, like maybe like a AA instead of a AAA, people will still respect you more because so many people are doing free to play now. So it's just like, oh, it's not free to play? Oh, cool. You actually just made a game and I can get it. Like that kind of puts it on a
I
tier
absolutely
up.
think that's happening. Yeah.
Completely regardless of like who's making it, what the quality of the game is, whether it's actually way more fun than something you'd pay full price for. It's just, that stigma.
Yeah. You know what? And like, when I think of, this is completely unrelated, but still related. When I think of Mirror's Edge, when I think of EA putting out Mirror's Edge right now, I think there's no way that game will be a single-player focused game that just ends when it ends and doesn't have microtransactions. Do you know what I mean? The way EA is going and the things that they've promised about their business models is I can't see a game like that fitting in with what they're doing financially. And so I'm scared for games like that, what you call AA games that are just like, oh my gosh, you're just making a game I can play? I can buy this and play the whole thing? And I think it's weird. That's getting rarer and rarer. But I mean, I guess that's our future. That's what we're looking at going forward.
Not totally. It's not going to eat up the whole industry. It's just
Yeah.
going to make that a niche thing. That's
Yeah.
going to be an example for people where they're like, I mean, do we want to just make the announcement now and see if we can get people involved to finish it? Or do we just want to push? There's a reason to push and make it our own because we'll have that instant love or respect from our fans because they're like, you guys clearly know what you're doing. Like you were saying, it's something I get to unwrap. You're actually just
Yeah.
going to give me something instead of like trying to piece things together. It's interesting, the free to play Kickstarter vibe. I mean, it's kind of double edged. Like there are people that are into that, you know, especially if I'm like really into that genre. I've never had that game before. I got to help out, or I want to be involved.
So this is a great transition. Let's talk about that Kickstarter vibe. Mighty Number 9 this weekend had a big announcement. Hey everybody, we got a big announcement coming this weekend. Get excited. The big announcement was, all right, we're extending our process in which you can give us money. We want $100,000. We're going to add English voice acting to the game. We're giving you, the fans, the opportunity to give us more money. And they didn't understand that would not excite us. And
Right.
then later on in the week, added another 100,000 to that initial 100,000 so that there could be Japanese voice acting as well. So right now, Mighty Number 9 needs $200,000 additional dollars from its fans to add voice acting to Mighty Number 9. Damiani, what happened to the goodwill of this game? Get into it. I hear your sigh. I want to hear the full Damiani.
I just think at this point, Inafune and his team, while they come from a good place, I think at this point they're starting to push a little bit too much. They're getting really dangerously close to crossing that line where the goodwill is gone, and there might be backlash from that. Like, I'm surprised there hasn't been as much backlash to this. I think people are just like, oh, whatever. If you don't meet it, we don't get voice acting. Whoop-de-doo. We're still getting the game. Like,
yeah.
I think that's the mentality right now. Just, oh, whatever. If it meets it, cool. But I'm not giving it any more money. I didn't give any money to the original Kickstarter. I was like, no, I want to see the game. Like, when it comes out, then I'll buy it. I'm cool doing that.
Good call.
But I think to most backers, they're probably just like, hey, I'm still getting the game. It's being made. I'm seeing the progress. This game's gonna come out. I really don't give a shit if it has voice acting or not. If it hits the voice acting mark, cool. It's an option, but I'm not paying more money for that. And if they do anything else beyond this for funding, like, oh, we thought of something else that we'd like to do. Would you like to pay for it? This is almost to the point where don't even just do it and charge. I don't know. Would this be worse? Here's a question.
Okay.
Would it be worse to do what they're doing now, or wait till the game's out and go, we're going to have paid DLC now for this voice acting? Give us $5 and you get the voice acting after you've already contributed to the game.
See, I think that's better, actually.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
I think if you're tempted and you're making some Kickstarter project, whether it's a game or anything, and you're like, oh, you know what we should have done? Release the thing, then do that. You know, like release that so people
they
can
don't
play
have
it
the
and have
funding
it.
to do that.
But they just need the voice acting. Release the game without the voice acting, yeah, and then voice acting is a weird case for something like that. But something like DLC, at least I could have the product and enjoy. And then I'm thinking, oh, you know, I love this game. Yeah, I do want more of it. Whereas when they add more stuff, like I can't reflect on any other experience other than I've already given you money.
Yeah.
Like that's
Right.
that's the place I'm coming from. So it's not
Exactly.
like I'm more excited about this project for any
Well,
reason.
and then you look at, that is a price tag. You know, I'm sure they have reasons to justify that, but it sounds like a lot of money. The average person's like, you need $200,000. How many voices are you going to have? How much of a script
Yeah.
are you going to write?
And seriously,
do we really
yeah.
need that much?
Voice
for
actors make bank.
Well,
Yeah.
freaking-
It's a Mega Man style
Yeah.
game. I don't care about. I know there are some funny memes and some funny moments from past Mega Man games that had VO.
Oh, the
And
PlayStation era
and fans
games.
are hoping
Sure.
that there might be a moment like that. But do you really need voice acting in a Mega Man style game? Do you absolutely have to have that? I mean, I think it's something you should avoid because the DuckTales remastered that came out last year. I was like, oh, hell yeah, they're getting the original voice cast. This sounds awesome. And then, as cool as it was conceptually, when I was playing the game, I was like, all right, this is breaking up the action too much. I mean, like a side-scrolling action game, I don't want these interruptions. I'm like, skip. Man, I hate doing this. This is tearing my soul because I love this voice work and stuff, but I just want to play the game. Wrong type of game to do this. For a Mega Man-style game like Mighty Number 9, it's just, to me, it's just to be like, no, skip this stupid cutscene. I don't give a shit. Just let me play the level.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of time. That they're
And I
doing
mean,
this.
in particular, I'm not liking what I'm seeing about Mighty Number 9. It freaks me out to see points come out of an enemy when you smash into it, and it's like, oh, you got a combo. And to me, I think Shovel Knight is going to end up being a better Mega Man game than Mighty Number 9 is going to be a Mega Man game. Well, like Damiani said, it's just like you don't need this stuff, and no one asked for voice acting in Shovel Knight, and that game is like nearly perfect. You don't need in this style game, you don't need voice acting, and so it's absurd to like show up, make a big announcement. Hey, we have $3.8 million. Thank you, but we could use voice acting. It's like, aren't you excited? Oh my gosh. I'm riled up.
It also does the thing that always pisses me off about anything. It's like the Final Fantasy 15 argument where it's like coming out and being like, we screwed up. Huh?
No,
Huh?
that is way different.
We made a mistake, everybody. What do you think? And you're like, what are you doing? You know, they're like, we didn't think about that. We didn't plan for that or budget that. And someone clearly just had a thought one day. Huh? It's like, that's not an announcement. Stop it. Don't.
Actually, I like it when Final Fantasy does it because they would say it's a mistake.
They never would. I've never heard Square. Oh, well, only recently is Square.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I don't want to bring Square into this,
But yeah, they say mistake all the time. Here, it's not like we made a mistake. It's like, oh, we had a new idea. You're
they
gonna
made a
love
mistake.
this.
They didn't budget it and they didn't include it in their game.
I
It's a
would love for them
conceptual
to see
vision.
it, yeah.
That is a major conceptual difference. Whether
Yeah.
these things talk or not,
Yeah.
you sit down at the first meeting and figure that out. You know, like nobody did, or it was always there on the backlist. They weren't sure and they finally made an announcement. It's like, don't reveal to the masses that you're disorganized. You know, like don't make that a huge
do you have the
thing.
stats? Like, I mean, I know they got 3.8 million, but what was their goal originally?
Oh, their original goal. Shoot, I have no idea. I think it may have been around 1 million.
Yeah, so that's weird too. It's like you got like 3 times as much money, almost 4 times as much money, and then
Yeah.
what are you doing with it that you now need more
didn't know
money?
that. That's bad.
Yeah, I always feel bad about that, though. I understand you don't get all of the money that's donated to you. You know what I mean? Kickstarter takes
That's
some of
but
it.
that, again, that you account for that.
Yeah, you're right. That's part of this organization phase that Brandon's talking about. That's part of like your initial sitting down and
And
planning
if you
your
got
game.
4 times as much money as what you asked for, then you've got enough money.
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. Anyway, currently they're at $9,058 of their $200,000 goal. They're never
So
going to
can
get
we?
that.
Yeah, we can get somebody like making a jump yell, right?
Sorry?
They can make a jump yell out of that, right? Like the Link style. Like
What is jump yell? What are you talking about?
What are you
Ah.
jumping?
Grunts and stuff, like not actual VO.
Oh, I get what you're just some
When
grunts.
you get hit,
Yeah.
you go, oh.
So with our $9,000, we can maybe get some guy to grunt for us.
But like, I'm sure this happens all the time with a relationship between a developer and a publisher. Them being like, "Hey, if you give us just this little more money, we think this would help."
Yeah.
you know. So it's maybe something that they're used to, but like you do it publicly, and it doesn't work out well.
Yeah, it's funny to see basically the old problems Kickstarter was supposed to fix. Just they're always there. Those old problems will always be there.
But it's good to get the stuff out and exposed, and have them learn these harsh lessons. Like that's how they're going to learn them.
Yeah, that
make these big
$9,000 I
mistakes,
think
yeah.
sends a message actually that says, "Don't do this. We funded your game." I believe anyway. Man, next news story. We're just talking about old business. Here we go. GameStop wants to offer its customers exclusive gameplay. What this means is that GameStop it's having success with exclusive DLC. It's looking to get into the development process sooner on games, work with its publisher relationships, and make it so it can have more substantial gameplay exclusives for buying a game at GameStop. Personally, this seems so wrong that I'm having a hard time explaining to myself why this is a bad idea. To the panel, I ask, why is this a bad idea?
I don't think it's a bad idea because I don't think it can gather much steam. Who the hell would want to do that?
I think a lot of people would want to
Oh,
do
the
that.
GameStop people are coming by on Tuesday. Looking forward to that meeting. You know, like, great. Okay, let's figure out how you're going to like dissect our game and
I wanna know
completely
at what
deconstruct the vision that we had to appease your stupid thing.
Sure.
Unless you're giving us tons of money, and I don't see GameStop doing that. I don't see them being like huge investment for us.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the case. If
Really
GameStop's
getting involved.
giving them money, or if GameStop's just like, well, we'll give you, some promotions.
Why the
You're
hell
right.
would you do it otherwise?
Yeah.
Why would that benefit?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking at some point they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop having leverage.
GameStop.
And this is their way of like trying to figure out like, okay, how can we stay important now that people can preload on the PS4 and all of this kind of thing? And it's if they don't do something now, then they're not going to have any leverage to get any kind of exclusives.
So you think they might invest money into this?
Maybe, but
I can see that.
I'm just saying that from their perspective, if they don't do something to stem the tide of people leaving their stores, then in a year or two's time, then the people will already be gone, and they won't be able to broker any kind of exclusives for this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a consumer, I mean, I walked into GameStop for the first time, and I don't know how long, a couple weeks ago, just to buy a controller. You know, it's like I don't go to GameStop very often. You know, I go to local stores and I buy things online. So
Yeah, it's,
I don't want to buy stuff from GameStop, especially because they've made that experience so freaking terrible. You know, like, oh, I want a cable. You know, because like, you know, the PS4 controllers don't come with a cable.
sure.
It's
So
like,
that's this
I
is
need
what
a
you went in to go
controller.
buy. Okay.
I needed a controller. I needed
Yeah.
a cable, and I had to look at 3 different cables to figure out which one wasn't screwed up.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, one of them had a like nick out of it where you could see the metal inside the cable.
Okay.
And yeah, the other one was kind of crimped. Like they're just selling used cables, and so you have to like examine all of them to like, okay, here's a good one.
I would not buy one of those mini USB cables from GameStop because you can get like a way longer one on like Amazon. It's all mini USB.
Yeah.
Just tips for the audience is really it's too late for you, Blood. You already bought
I
it.
mean, it's perfectly fine for the length I got, but
Generally, but like, how was if you're a reviewer of like a shopping experience, how would you rate your trip to GameStop?
I mean, that particular trip was fine. But other than, like I said, the stupid cable thing, like like you guys don't weed out the crappy cables. I mean, come on.
So that's my feeling is this like the way to fight this stuff, the way to fight the internet is not to try to out-internet the internet. It's to like work on your humans, work on
Right.
this human time that we spend in GameStop. You know what I mean? Make GameStop a cool place to go be is how I think you fight
Well, yeah.
pre-downloads.
I mean, I can't speak for them, and I may be approaching this wrong, but like it seems like they think that people will like GameStop for ripping this content away from their games.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they'll love us for that. Then they'll buy our game for us, and they'll smile when they do it. And I'll be like, no, damn it, give me this huge, awesome mode that was in Mortal Kombat X that like I can't use at all, for months.
Yeah,
until
you're right.
I
It's you
give you money for
you
it.
begrudgingly do it.
Yeah.
Damn it is exactly how that works. You're
Right.
so right about that. Yeah.
And it just feels like they think like, oh man, we're gonna thumbs up all the way on that one, on that move.
That's
They're gonna
funny.
be lined up around the block with smiles on their faces.
That's honestly a real common thread. This entire episode is just like, oh, they're gonna love this. Wait till the gamers hear about this, and it's just like, no. And so to me, it's like, where's that disconnect? Why does GameStop not realize that this stuff bothers us? I guess because we pay for it.
People pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like that DLC. They like pre-ordering.
They're a
Pay for
retail
the special
store,
trench
yeah.
coat or whatever. Yeah.
Their numbers are everything. That's what they base their whole business off of. That's what makes money.
Damiani, be GameStop CEO right now. You have to survive for 5 more years. Listening to Blood's advice, what are you going to do?
Let's see. You gotta become a digital service.
You're going to try to just fight them by becoming a digital service.
Talk to all the like Xbox. Talk to Sony.
Uh-huh.
Talk to Nintendo. Be like, hey, our stores are gonna be dead in a few years. We can't keep doing physical stuff. So is there any way we could get onto your systems to like help sell your games on there? Like we'll become like a service.
And I'm like, haha, no, I'm
and
happy.
Then they're gonna get told
Yeah.
no, which
Yeah.
is gonna I'm like, damn it, that sucks. So it's like, all right, well, what can we do? Well, people don't like always buying games. Maybe they just want to like try out games. They'll like the rental. Maybe there's GameFly out there, but they're doing okay. I think I don't know. Maybe you go to a digital distribution for like rentals or something somehow. I don't know. Like
Sure.
I don't think they're gonna survive. Like Amazon and Amazon and any online stores. Just Amazon itself is going to destroy GameStop. GameStop's going to become irrelevant for the United States. It's going to become irrelevant for almost everywhere except for more rural areas which have lower internet usage, where people still don't trust buying stuff online, prefer to actually go to a physical store. Like the only advantage physical stores, like just like Amazon versus Best Buy, like that's the best thing because Best Buy is dying. The only reason I would ever consider going to a Best Buy is I need like a controller. I need a cable like right now. It's the weekend, and Amazon like there's no way I'm getting that today or tomorrow from Amazon because it has to ship. Let me just go over to Best Buy and see if they have it. I'll check online with a little store thing. Oh, it's available there. Okay, you can do that on GameStop right now. Oh, it's available. If I need it right now is the only reason, and that's very extreme, very rare circumstances. I mean, GameStop already has an online store, but I don't know. The only way they're gonna I don't think there's a way to survive. If I'm CEO right now, I'm thinking of my golden parachute to get
Sure.
get out of the company.
No, I think
right
that's fair. And I mean, I think it's neglecting trade-ins. I think trade-ins is a big reason why GameStop still exists, and
Oh, yeah.
they do that the better than anyone. But it's still, I think it's a hard thing to survive in.
What if you
feel,
had a game equipment emergency delivery service? You would just pool all your resources in every major metropolitan city into one location.
Yeah.
There's all your crap.
Okay.
You know, and then you just like, oh God, I need, while I was streaming the other day, I'm like, I need Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 right now.
Okay.
Immediately, today.
And it'll be like, we'll have it there in
It's
10
not
minutes.
like Amazon where it's like, oh, we got to take it. It's coming out all the way from Tennessee. They're like,
Well,
we got this one location. We put it
Yeah.
on a car with a GameStop logo on the side.
Yep.
They drive it over to your house.
I mean,
That'd be great.
You
That is
mentioned
cool.
you mentioned used game sales. That's kind of like sadly their bread and butter. They don't want you to buy new games. They want you to buy used.
Right.
Yep.
It might maybe something like an Amazon, like they're trying to do trade-ins and stuff like that. They have used sales, like maybe for game specific, because people know GameStop so well. Someone buys the GameStop. It's like you're going to be like our used game division or something for gaming, because that's going to be around for this generation for the next 5, 6, whatever years.
Yeah.
we need a used games specialist on here. So like if you're looking into the used games, you go into a little GameStop tab on our Amazon or something. I mean, this isn't going to happen. But
Yeah. Used games powered
there's
by
like,
GameStop.
Basically, the
Yeah.
point I'm trying to make, they're doing very, very small amounts of like reasons that like GameStop has, or chances for GameStop to really flourish here. I think they're just going to decline over this generation, especially when they keep trying to do these stupid ideas like this. That the best that when they throw out that hook for that, the best they're going to get are these like really mediocre to very bad games. They're like, oh, we just need a way to stand out. So yeah, of course, like get a cool pre-order exclusive gameplay only if you buy it through GameStop. None of the big games Call of Duty is not going to do that. They will not do. They'll do DLC. They'll gladly do DLC and stuff, but that's exclusive to the Microsoft stuff.
Yep.
Like Nintendo will never do something like that. Sony's first part, like Naughty Dog's next game, no way they're doing something like that.
I don't know, dude.
They will not risk pissing off their fan base too much. That's crossing the line when you make gameplay exclusive stuff. DLC and pre-order shit like skin stuff, whoop-de-fucking-do. But when you do like meaningful gameplay, no developer wants to cross the line unless you're desperate.
Right.
And that's all they're going to get from that.
Yeah,
if they get
because
anyone.
what Infamous Second Son, great game, but the whatever pre-order DLC that like tied it back to the previous Infamous games, total garbage. It was just like walk around here and listen to a bunch of audio logs. It was just not. It was not fun. It was not engaging. It was the weakest part of that game. I honestly think that if GameStop, if they want to survive as a physical store, then I think they need to look at cooler ways of offering physical bonuses. You know, like it's like I'm not one to really like collect a lot of statues and junk, but I think they need to look more into that kind of thing. Because it's like, why would you buy a physical copy instead of just downloading it? Especially as preloading becomes more available.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm CEO for 5 years. I'm putting couches in my GameStops. That's what I'm doing my first
I
day.
was just thinking that actually. Like,
Yeah.
what if you could try to get those demos, like with like that Dragon Age E3 demo that they just showed off, where they go to fight the dragon. What if they like hit them and be like, when can we get that in
But
our
did you
stores?
see-
Those go
Yeah.
to Best Buy.
And
But
then
did
pimp off
you
your game.
see
You got
the
the
Best
pre-order
Buy lines?
certificate right there, right by the television.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah,
the
like a
Best
ticket
Buy lines for
systems.
Smash Brothers?
They're crazy, yes.
Crazy lines.
yeah.
But here's the problem.
They don't-
Freaking GameStops are tiny and cluttered and a freaking mess. I mean, there's...
Well, you
know,
downsize. You have like in
Yeah.
in each city you have like 1 or 2, 3 major locations.
Right.
But then again, like every place I know that's like fun arcade hangout, like no one goes to those. Like those don't do really well. So I don't know. But that was actually one of my thoughts. Like
Get some couches.
that specific demo
Let us come play games.
Yeah. Because I would go, like I'd go to play. Like I don't have a PS4 yet, like it is kind of fun to just like check these games out.
Yeah.
Especially if like maybe it's not like a year down before it comes out, but even if it's like it doesn't come out for 2 more weeks, but they got the demo there, you can play it.
Sorry, I just thought of this. When are you getting your PS4 already? When is that happening?
Soon, I got to get it for Destiny for the beta.
So let's talk about this actually. So when you're buying a PS4, how are
This
you going to
weekend.
do it?
I'm going to Costco and I'm just going to buy it.
So
I'm gonna
Costco is
put
your
it in
method.
a cart and wheel it up.
Get that $10 discount.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
did you look at Amazon? Did you look at games? You know what I mean? Like, is Costco the absolute cheapest place to get a PS4? right
I'm
now?
just gonna go there to buy stuff this weekend, and it'll be right there, so I can literally just
Yeah. Well, no, I mean that's why Walmart does so well. It's like people
Yeah.
buy everything
Boom.
there.
Right, relative to this
Like we're gonna
discussion,
get underwear,
yeah.
milk,
Yeah.
and a DVD.
that is what is so frustrating to GameStop. Like they
That's-
can't have Brandon, they can't have
yeah.
a sale because they only sell. That's so funny.
Yeah, and that's
It's
ano-
all
yeah.
about convenience.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're in the convenience generation.
And that's why, like, GameStop. Another reason GameStop is going to like just die off is because saying that rural like areas which don't buy, the people don't generally buy as much off the internet. They are more inclined to go to a Walmart to get all their stuff than they are to go to a GameStop. Unless, yeah, there's just no chance. Like the best they could hope for is they have a store and a spot that's just a perfect spot that there's not a Walmart or some other similar store nearby or Target, and it's like, oh, we're like the only physical game store within like 10 miles of anyone within this nice residential area. Yes, they'll do. Like where I live, there's a GameStop right across the street from my apartment complex. The next nearest place, like there's a Walmart across the street, but GameStop's still closer, and then the Best Buy is on the other side of town. So people either go to Walmart or that GameStop. So it's a good location, but that's like a rare situation. That's not what you're going to get. So
Yeah.
I think this generation you're going to see lots of store closings for GameStops, and only the ones that are in good locations are going to stay open. And then, yeah.
You know, that's the weird thing, actually, is like if you ever hear the CEO talk about it, he's like, I don't remember his name, but it's like they're closing stores every year, and like he's happy about it. So I think GameStop is aware they're dwindling and their time is limited, and they're just like trying to shut down the right way. It's so crazy.
Look at Blockbuster. It's kind of they're on that trend.
Yeah.
Like how like Blockbuster was like it was rentals, but you know, sorry, like you got beat out by Netflix. Biggest mistake Blockbuster did was not buying Netflix and adapting to that service. I think I just don't know what GameStop could have done other because Amazon was around before them. Like they couldn't become Amazon.
Yeah.
And they already have online sales on their store for pre-orders and stuff. They do the shipping in advance, so you get the game the same day as if you bought it in store or pre-ordered in store. I just don't know what else they could have done other than like try to make a deal with someone to be like the exclusive provider of games for, I don't know, somehow. And no one, as you said, like no one was going to like do that. Like we can do that ourselves. Why do we need you? They didn't offer a service. They were just a brick and mortar retail store. They don't offer a service. I know they thought about doing like that digital service. They did, but it never happened.
Yeah, and
like
I think
some
they
of
bought Congregate
Gamefly-esque.
too, right?
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
that is going on or has happened or it isn't, but like no, I don't even know, so no one cares about it.
Sure.
So
If you don't know, nobody cares about it.
yeah, like I just don't know. Like it's just sorry, things are changing. That's why I said like if your executives there start like planning your bailout.
They absolutely are. I think all executives for every company is always just thinking about what am I having next? What's my next job going to be? That's evil. That's
So
I shouldn't
bad.
think of executives like that. I'm sorry.
I'm sure some of them are wonderful people.
Yeah, they all are. Yeah, shoot, Bill Gates is like the best human on this
He
planet,
is a
doing
good
the
guy.
most good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do some bets. We talked about a lot of things that made us grumpy this episode. I realized like they all turned into like grumpy talks.
But I'm confident in my grumpiness.
We're not actually grumpy. That stuff makes us grumpy, but I like talking about it. That's what. It's okay. So sorry to go back to GameStop. Like to me, if GameStop was a place where like there could be a little table and like 4 high school friends could come and talk about games, that would be awesome. Do you know what I mean? That would be.
That's on the way home. That's like 3
Yeah.
blocks from our high school. So if on lunch
Yes.
break, let's just
So
go to
it's called-
GameStop.
So, GameStop would probably never do this, but one thing that was really cool with my local store back home when I was in high school, like you could walk into the store and you could basically like I think give them $5 or whatever to like just play anything and try it out.
That's cool.
For like 20 minutes in the store.
I went to a board game store called Game House 2 weekends ago. Same thing. $5. Play any board games you want in here. That rules. And they had coffee. You could just drink coffee. And oh man, it's awesome. But you hate that idea, Damiani? You said that's called.
No, I think nowadays people either for discussing games and playing them, like youth today, they just like go on voice chat and video chat services and just do that, and while they're playing their games at their own house.
They video chat with each other about video games?
Yeah.
Ew, like on
You're
Skype?
so surprised about
Why are you so surprised? Like everyone uses some kind of online like messaging like service. Like,
So,
that's what they do now.
a bunch of friends.
like Videoland places stuff or GameLand places and stuff like that. They're dying off.
Yeah,
Like
I'm just-
arcades have been dying off. There's a reason for
I'm
that.
aware that-
Because you can play stuff online and you could talk online. It's destroying the whole purpose of going to a single place. Like most people who do that, I hate to say this, are older, who are more interested in that. Or you just get together at someone's house now and just do it at someone's house. You don't want to pay to do that. There's too much access now. People don't want to do that. So a GameStop or someplace offering something like that, no. People just go like, I'll just go come over to my house and like we'll get on Skype and we'll start chatting about
You're
this.
telling me
We'll
like
get on,
Google
the thing.
Hangouts, people actually hang out on a Google Hangout.
I don't know if they use Google Hangouts, but they use Skype.
And they look at each other and like have each other on camera the whole time? That's what's weird to me. Video chat, so this is probably just a
A lot
personal
of
thing.
yes, that's like the norm. It's not weird for like teenagers to be on Skype a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
This
is
is
what they
fascinating.
do.
This is
You've
Yes.
only just recently discovered that you like looking at yourself, Kyle.
no, I absolutely don't. It's this thing. That's why I hate video chat. It's just like don't even like knowing a person's watching me while I'm talking. You're right. This is my own problem. This is my
It's
own
different.
issue.
Yeah, it's different for them.
So you're not going to Skype
You're
with me,
you're,
Kyle?
you're starting to. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. You're experiencing a generation gap now. You're
I
getting,
absolutely
you're
think
getting
I am.
up there. Yeah.
Old man Bossman. All right. So anyway, let's do some bets. Grumpy old man Bossman's ready for some bets. Evo is this weekend. Evo is the world's largest fighting game tournament. It's in Vegas. It goes over 3 days. It's the best in the world. It's really exciting. It's all streamed live. It's really fun to watch. I highly recommend it. What we're betting today is which character will win the Ultra Street Fighter 4 Finals. Not which player, only which character. And so we're doing a new thing. I realized this wasn't fair, is I took the first bet last week for like winning the week before or something like that. What we're going to do from now on is just we're going to go clockwise. So Damiani, it's your turn to choose whether you want to go first or last.
Okay. I just want to say at first, I'm surprised you didn't pick Melee for the bet.
Melee, it's way more limited. I think Street Fighter is a more balanced game, so it could really
There's
be
only
anyone.
4 of us.
Yeah.
Melee, you could pick
We already did. We did a Smash Brothers bet like
Marth
3 weeks
You could
ago.
pick
Yeah.
Marth. You could pick Fox. You could pick Kirby, Peach.
Too late.
Yeah,
One of
it's
those-
too late.
one of
No,
those
no, no.
would
What I
open
love
up.
about Street Fighter is how balanced it is.
Yeah,
last
and it's
year,
Ultra. So this is so here's the
yeah,
other thing.
a little untested.
This is the only thing that bugs me a little bit about this bet is
Okay.
like it's going to make it weird. Is in Ultra, it's not going to apply to the. Oh, never mind. It's not going to apply to the actual tournament. They're not. I don't think they're going to let you pick which edition of your character is what you can use.
Oh, no. That'd be-
so like
Good thing you brought it up,
Vanilla
Mike.
Sagat. I was
You
like,
can't be Vanilla. Yeah, you can't do
So
that.
we could have made the bets really interesting if they're going to do that. Like you got to pick which version of Street Fighter and which character.
That would be for bonus points at most, but
Bonus
that would never
points.
be the bet.
So I will go last.
Okay. Damiani's going last.
So
Bloodworth. Which character will win?
I'm gonna pick Evil Ryu because I think that's a terrible character.
All right, I want to get sidetracked. I'm willing to hear this out. Why do you think Evil Ryu is a horrible character?
It's just Ryu, but he's evil. I mean, fucking come on.
Well, he's a different fighting game character. He's got.
I mean, but how many of them are already based on Ryu in the first place?
Oh man.
It's just like
I might have a chance this week.
Yeah. What do you got? Who's your pick?
Well, I'm not good at fighting games. I love Street Fighter. Street Fighter is actually my favorite of the fighting games that I do play because it just controls so damn good.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And so, for some reason, like on looking at the list, like I always hear people talk about how difficult Seth is. Maybe that's just like in the AI, like that he's really tough.
Oh, he's a tough boss. He's definitely a tough boss.
Right, but I don't know if that translates to a good character. So I might as well just pick my favorite.
Yeah.
Which is Guile. Guile's always been my favorite Street Fighter
Ooh.
character.
Guile.
Good.
But Guile
pick,
doesn't strike
dude.
me as a powerful tournament. It's not somebody I
He's
see
high
come
up
up
on
in
that list,
tournaments
though.
a lot. Whenever I see replays and hear people screaming in the background, it's never Guile. So
Yeah.
I don't.
I love that pick.
I don't feel good about it. But I just wanted to put out in case Seth like dominates that. Like I did have that thought.
You sound like Bloodworth right now.
But Guile is my official pick.
I didn't pick that, but I
Happy
thought of
Fourth,
it.
everybody.
It,
Go
it
America.
didn't come to my mind. By the way, I did for everyone. I did go to Event Hubs and I printed out the tiers list. Basically, I consider this like our
you could shred that up right now.
yeah. I know it's worthless. Tier lists are so stupid, but I consider it like the horse races. You know, like the odds. Anyway, Sea Viper, Crimson Viper is my pick.
oh yeah. Good.
Wow. So we got Evil Ryu,
Yeah.
Guile, and Sea Viper.
Yeah, Akuma's the smart bet. What are you gonna
No,
pick?
no, because I don't think I don't know if Infiltration could play pretty good Akuma as well, and there's also Takedo. I mean, these are the players in there.
Yep.
But I don't think either of them are
Takedo
gonna
was in
win.
last year's finals.
Yeah.
Lost to a player playing Gen, which
Yeah.
is why this is awesome.
Yeah, and then but I mean, Infiltration, he's pretty good. Like he beat PR Balrog like a year or two ago when he busted out not Goken, Hakan. Like no one had seen Hakan, and Hakan
Oh,
just
yeah,
came out,
that's
and
cool.
the oil Hakan was like all crazy. So My gut is to either go with the safe pick is either Ryu.
Okay.
So Ryu character usually gets pretty high up there.
Yep.
And Daigo mains is Ryu pretty exclusively. If they're doing version picks, though, I kind of want to pick Yoon, but then there's also everyone keeps telling me the Capra, the new character.
Go with your heart here. Go with your heart. Follow your heart.
I want to be casual.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Ryu.
All right. And so
Ryu and Evil Ryu going at it.
yeah,
I like it.
if none of those win, we'll go with whichever placed the highest. Is how we'll score that.
Right.
And let me lock those in.
Better, man.
Whoa.
Those are locked in.
Are you sure?
Yes, we won't have to put on proton packs. We won't have to spend all weekend hunting them down.
Because Blood's not into it at all.
He's not into it.
Good.
Okay, so let's talk about last week's bet really quick before we go. We bet we're going to Toys R Us. What would be the top-selling video game on the top sellers of ToysRUs.com? Funny, ToysRUs.com is a mess when you look at its top sellers. The first 8 aren't video games. They're all like weird little child tablets and like Minnie Mouse headphones. The first game that appeared is Tomodachi Life. Then Minecraft, but the winning bet was Mario Kart 8, which was my bet,
Nice.
which means I won that week. Brandon came in second. Disney Infinity was there. It was just real low. But Minecraft would have been a smart bet. I should have done that. Anyway, I won. I want to wrap this up really quick because I realized we really extended that. We extended that close. We talked about it. That was fun. We're having fun at least.
And you're extending it even further.
Okay, all right, no more extensions. The video on a plug is we played Bad Boys for the first 15 this week, so that's a fun one to watch. And then everybody, these are our Twitter handles. Please follow us on Twitter if you want to, and please feel free to watch this show again in the future. And thank you for watching this show in the present and listening if you're listening to the podcast. And everybody, thanks for watching. Have a good weekend.
I love the Xbox. 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 I love the Xbox.